This recruiting class has been a very interesting one. I think it's a very exciting one. Obviously, there's a transition that took place, and we had boots on the ground that was pretty late in the recruiting process. And got to give a lot of guys credit for being recruited to NMU and then staying true to wanting to come to school here and have a great experience here. We also were able to get out and find some new guys, and just with the short time period, it was a very unique opportunity and time that we were able to work. And the 12 guys that obviously we have here, they've made a commitment to Northern Michigan, to being in Marquette, to being a part of the Upper Peninsula, and just couldn't be more proud of them to stick with their commitments and to be able to, want to come up here and to do a special thing here to get this program on the right track. And I think it's a new direction we're going in. One of the exciting things that I tried to communicate throughout the process with them is I'm new here, our coaching staff will be new here, and you as well will be coming in as a new class, and you're going to be a big part of the change that we start and as we transition and go into a direction that is going to be very successful. You get to be a part of that and to really make a difference to do that. And so I think a lot of guys were really excited about that part of it, and they just gelled well. And I think they're great fits for Northern Michigan, and that's a huge part of what we look for. Being a proud alumni back, in the late 90s, early 2000s, I certainly have a great compassion and passion for this university and this football program. And so I want guys around me that are going to feel that same energy and be able to portray that same energy to the guys that we bring into this program. And so, I think when you get to Marquette, one thing that we talked about was one of the hardest things is to just get them in the car and to get them up here. And once you do, and they find out that they come up to a beautiful college town that has so much to offer with the natural beauty and all the activities and the quaintness and just the uniqueness of this town, people love it. It's a safe place. It's a place that the people are just amazingly generous, and people love it. I don't care where you're from. You come to Marquette, you come to Northern Michigan. Once you get here, you can see just how special of a place it is, and I think those guys really understand it, and they're excited to be a part of that. When you talk about the fit, you talk about a guy who can handle the elements, you're coming to a place where you got to understand the winners here. You got to understand the activities here. You've got to understand what's going on here. And when somebody can understand that that's going to be a fit for them for the next 4 or 5 years, you've got something, right? Because they're going to feel inspired and motivated and committed to what they're doing every day that they wake up, right? And we're very upfront in the process. I mean, we want guys to understand what the teaching and learning experience is going to be like that they get here. Want them to understand their teammates, want them to understand the expectations of the program, want them to understand the relationships with the coaches they're going to have, want them to obviously see campus, see the town, so many things so that we can take care of a lot of that stuff on the front end so that the back end is smooth and seamless. And, that's where we're at. We look for guys who are going to be a fit. We look for guys who are going to buy in and believe in our culture and our expectations. And we make sure they understand the direction that we're going in there. And then obviously they've got to be able to be good football players. They got to be able to be good students and good people. That's kind of the recruiting piece that, fits the formula there. They've got to be a well-rounded individual that we're going to feel very comfortable with and that is going to come and contribute in great ways, not only on the football field, but, going to be a very well-rounded student athlete and a person at the end of the day. Our footprint is really about 6 to 6.5 hours from campus. If you can draw really a half circle around from Minneapolis down to Chicago over to Detroit and everything inside of that to Marquette, that's what we want to live in. And it's a lot of area, a lot of schools, a lot of kids, but we're going to try to find the right ones that, what we talked about, are going to fit here and are going to want to come up to Northern Michigan. So we were able to address kids from the Lower Peninsula. We were able to address, from the Illinois area, Chicago area, and able to address Wisconsin. And obviously, the UP is going to be something that we make great focus and great priority about. And getting Zach Person at the semester, from Kingsford. What a great fit that he is. Just can't say enough about him in terms of the way that he was interested in us. We were interested in him. And one of the first days on the job here, I met Zach, and we were able to connect and really hit this thing off in the right direction. And he was all on board, right from the get-go. And it was really good to just see how that process unfolded. And it just felt great to be able to get someone who's an hour and a half away from the Upper Peninsula and to be able to do it the right way and to see that come to fruition. We're still not done. I think what's interesting is that our recruiting process has been very short here. We've not gone through a whole recruiting cycle, and yet we have 12 signees that we're able to announce, and I can't wait to continue to recruit here for the next couple weeks. There's going to be another wave, and there'll be more guys that we're looking to bring on board, and we're excited to continue to go out into some local areas here and make sure that we're still getting the good kids that are, from the Upper Peninsula, from Wisconsin, and even from Lower Michigan in the Chicago area. And we're going to continue to find the great fits for Northern Michigan here to round out the class here as it comes to an end at the end of the spring semester. Well, you look forward to signing day, right? I mean, that's a big day, and you celebrate it, and yet we're going to still recruit, as I mentioned before, and so that's going to be a big part of what we do here in the next month. And so we want to make sure that we're still getting some really good kids that need to come into the program. But then at the same time, we've got to fill out our staff. We have not done that in its entirety yet, and there'll be some coaches that are going to come on board here really soon in the next couple weeks. And really, I had to make a decision to say, hey, if we weren't able to get coaches in right away before the signing day, I had to choose to make sure we got the class that we wanted by February the 1st. And so I did that. I made sure that we were getting these guys and making sure that the three of us that are on staff right now were able to do a good job to walk with them and keep them involved and to be able to wrap them up here, today. And so now we'll go out and we'll make sure that the staff is complete here in the next couple weeks. Our players are working hard. I can't say enough for how great our players have been with just receiving the information we've given to them. I think they're hungry. They're excited for just taking on new challenges that we give them, and I just can't say enough about our team right now. It's the word that I continue to use with them is they have a great willingness right now, and it's a willingness to work hard. It's a willingness to accept things that maybe they're not used to. It's a willingness to maybe change and adapt to things that they're not quite sure of what's coming next. And we can work with a team that's very willing, and I'm really, really proud of them for that and excited to move forward in the future with them. Obviously, we'll get to some skill development stages. We're working out right now. We've got about 5 days a week right now that we're working extremely hard. And once skill development picks up, then we'll go to spring break, and then spring ball will come in after spring break, and it'll be here before you know it. And so, it'll be a new scheme for a lot of offense, defense, and special teams. And, I think guys are going to be excited about that. But it's just a daily process here right now, and we just got to take one day at a time. And, I think there's a lot of changes that we can control, and yet there's a lot of things that we're going to have to be very patient and understand the big picture with too. So really excited about our team moving forward, and obviously to add these pieces from signing day and continue to, do that in the next couple weeks here. I think we've got a good thing moving forward.